Hey, beautiful people. Shantanette here, a Meaty Life channel. And for those of you who don't know me yet, I am 73 years old and I have had ME/CFS, myalgic encephalomyelitis, chronic fatigue syndrome for 7 years. And I went from being a total stud muffin, Energizer bunny to bedridden. That's a whole nother story. And I've been doing carnivore for 4.5 months and am now off the bed completely, except for when I have little mini flares and stuff. Then, of course, I'm back on the bed. But in general, I'm off the bed. I'm still housebound mostly, but I'm able to work. I've worked 7-hour days with no repercussions. And carnivore is now it's the way that I eat. So with ME/CFS, nobody ever that I know of, and I'm pretty hooked into the community, heals from this illness just by changing their diet. But it's a huge, huge piece of the puzzle. The 4 holistic pieces of the puzzle are nutrition. And I've been working on nutrition since, specifically since, I don't know, 2018 maybe, when I found, it was 2021 when I found Dr. Ken Berry. But I've been kind of a fitness nutrition junkie for decades, but that's when I found the proper human diet. So there's nutrition, there's sleep, which is huge for healing. And the carnivore, early on, I was getting like 3-4 hours of deep sleep. It was just amazing. Now my deep sleep is back to kind of the hour and a half. And I feel like that's probably because at that stage, back in November, I was still in a pretty devastating relapse where I was mostly bedbound, often just despairing, considering buying an electric wheelchair because I was in such bad shape. I mean, I couldn't get around. So I suspect that at that stage, the carnivore was helping my body to sleep deeply for much, much, much longer because of the healing that it was doing. But in general, my sleep is good. And then movement, like those of us who get ME/CFS, we get, and so it's amazing how many of us who are athletes or athletic, I certainly was, we get deconditioned because we have, our mitochondria don't function well at all. They go belly up if we go over our energy envelope. So too much output where normal people's mitochondria recharge and regenerate and duplicate themselves. Our mitochondria just go belly up and we sleep, and we don't feel better in the morning. And we have something called post-exertional malaise, which is you go over that energy envelope. And this could be like one event, like when I first really realized I had ME/CFS was I went hiking, and I hadn't been well for a while, and I went hiking, and because I was an avid hiker, and I lived right on the cusp of miles and miles and miles and miles of beautiful, well-kept trails that led up to the Pacific Crest Trail. Anyway, I went hiking, and I started off, being careful and gentle and stuff because I thought I had a flu. And then when after a few days, when I felt better and stronger, then I maxed it out, and I hiked way up high and a lot longer, like probably 3 times longer than I had the day before. And I felt fine doing that. 2 days later, I could not get out of bed. And I had all the flu symptoms again. And I was just, I couldn't function at all. It's like somebody opens a spigot and all of your life force just drains out. Uh, and then I got better, and I thought I was sick. I thought, oh, well, you relapsed. Um, and, and, uh, and then I got better from that. And then I did it again. And then it happened again two days later. And then I realized, oh my God, this is post-exertional malaise. I have ME/CFS. That's what it's got to be. That was my first kind of when dawn broke over Marblehead. So we have to be really careful. So movement, so exercise and activity. So I do a lot of activity now. I can feed the animals. I can do the dishes, clean up the kitchen, do laundry, things like that. So that's one aspect of movement. And then the other aspect of movement is conscious, deliberate exercise. And we get really, really deconditioned because a lot of us spend a lot of time on our bed or in a chair. And I'm not talking about people with extreme severe ME/CFS. Those poor people, uh, they they are on the bed 24/7 and being fed out of a tube, and their lives are just unbelievably miserable. And for them, it's really dangerous to move because, So those are the three out of four: nutrition, sleep, movement, and then mindset. And one of the things that I've learned in the last year from my new coaches is that mindset isn't just, oh, helping isn't just, well, let me have a health mindset instead of an illness mindset. Let me have a success mindset instead of a failure mindset. I mean, those are helpful. Like learning that as a baseline is helpful. But really, a huge part of what our illness entails is malfunctioning. So it's the mitochondria, but it's a malfunctioning autonomic nervous system. And we are, I would say, I can't say all of us because it's different for everybody, but certainly those who are trauma survivors like me, our autonomic nervous system stays in sympathetic, so fight or flight, freeze or fawn. And I've been learning about how to soothe my nervous system, not just change my mindset. I've been working on mindset since I was 19. I've been on a 73 now. Well, in April I will be. I've been on a spiritual transformational path because of the horrendous trauma that I experienced as a child. So that stuff is like, I know to practice that stuff, and I've come a really long way that way. But the autonomic nervous system stuff, I didn't. So anyway, those are the 4 pillars of holistic healing that you need. And I feel like I've got the nutrition down now. That part, I don't have any questions about. My sleep right now is, it's good, but it could be better. Because I have a morning routine that I do for circadian rhythm, which is go outside first thing in the morning, sit outside. I also use that for cold exposure because cold exposure helps. I used to do hot cold showers, but I realized after a while that was too much stress on the body. That and the fasting program, I was in way too much stress on my body while I was relapsed. So I stopped doing that stuff. But now what I do is I go outside in 30, like 30, like when it, like even, yeah, if it's 30 degrees, I go outside in something like this and I sit doing my light anchoring in the cold. And it's amazing how, since I've been on Carnivore, the cold doesn't bother me at all. It feels really, really good. I go for my half mile walk, and the coldest it was 37 degrees, and I was in a tank top, and I felt great. So, so I'm doing that as part of movement, but I'm doing that for circadian rhythm stuff, which is awesome. It's really helpful, but I'm still a bit of a screens distraction addict when I get to the end of my day. And so I have not yet mastered the art of the other side of that coin, which is turn yourself off at night before it's time to go to sleep by, taking a hot soak, doing some restorative yoga, um, turning off the lights, lighting candles, that kind of thing. I still haven't gotten there yet, but I'm working on it. So, I don't know why I went into this long explanation, just because I feel like, so when I started this channel, the purpose of it was to raise awareness in the carnivore community about ME/CFS, and then to raise awareness in the ME/CFS community about the option of the proper human diet for the nutritional side of your recovery process. So that's that. Where I am now is I just got over, no, actually not even over it, but I'm really tons better. But for the last 2 weeks, I don't know why, whenever I always have an itchy nose when I'm talking to you guys. The last 2 weeks I have been sick, and I don't know, it's kind of a composite. It's like upper respiratory, pretty mild upper respiratory, but noticeable symptoms, and intestinal issues, which are exacerbating my ability to digest fats. But I can tell, like at first I thought it was post-exertional malaise, because I had the week before I got started feeling sicker and sicker and sicker, and had to spend more and more time in bed. I had an amazing active week and really busy with my job. I have a 20-hour-a-week temporary gig now with my absolute favorite organization that I've worked with as a policy editor, and just absolutely love it. Makes me so happy. But I also spent a fair amount of time with my grandson and took him on an outing. We went on an outing together, I think, on that Friday, and I forgot to wear my masks because there's a lot of little bugs going around out there. I didn't wear masks in the places that we went, and by Monday, I was feeling really low, like I had to spend time, I had to go right back to bed and that kind of thing. And it was mild at first, and just it gradually got worse and worse and worse, and then the symptoms came. And I realized the other day that, it's very hard when you have ME/CFS to know if what you're having is a reaction to doing too much and therefore your fault, which is also ridiculous, but it's really hard for us not to think that, not to beat ourselves up for doing too much and then having a setback. Um, but yeah, so because our post exertional malaise symptoms tend to mimic the virus that got us sick on the one hand, and so it was hard to know. So one of my former coaches used to say, even healthy people get viruses, and it's important to distinguish. He was really right about that, and I didn't distinguish. I thought I had had a setback. I thought I'd crashed. I mean, not really a bad crash, but. And then the other day, when I was still having these body aches and, like major body issues, um, I realized, wait a second, post exertional malaise doesn't start small and build over time and reach a crisis and then get better. Post exertional malaise flattens you, and then you're in bed until it's over, or you're like, depending on how severe you are. Uh, and that was kind of a good lesson for me, because it's like, dude, you're still, I mean, you this illness still has your attention, understandably so, because it has fucking crippled me for 7 years, I'm in my 8th year now. But it still has my attention, so that even though I'm doing so much better on carnivore, I'm like, oh, I had an ME/CFS setback. Well, actually, maybe a little tiny one, but the real thing that happened was I picked up a bug. I picked up a virus. And for healthy people, it probably wouldn't, it's probably going to sound weird, but um, it's so reassuring to me, because what that means is, when I'm done with this, when my body has healed itself of this virus, which is very, very close. Like, I'm feeling tons better today. I just had major potty issues, but all the body aches and my throat's still a little weird and I'm still a little nasal, but the body stuff is way better, and I'm not tired, and I feel fine. So I'm encouraged by that. However, and now I'm getting to the carnivore part, my carnivore journey. It's kind of interesting to me how, like, I think part of what's going on is because I had a tummy bug, and so anything intestinal is going to be whacked. But it's really clear that my body is suddenly no longer absorbing fats as well as it did before I got sick. So, I'm not eating more fat. I'm as much as possible doing high fat carnivore, because the fat is essential for healing brain and neurological disorders, which is what one aspect, and a major aspect for me, of this illness. So it's important for me to eat high fat. But it's taken me a while to get to the point where my body can tolerate it. But right now, for the last 3 or 4 days, even if I just eat the fat on my ribeye, it really nauseates me. And then I have yellow disaster pants, and while I was sick, that really smelled disgusting. So that's part of how I knew, oh, this isn't some kind of gastronomical infection. It's not normal for me. Even when I have disaster pants, that's not normal. But looking back, it's kind of been like that. I don't see any rhyme or reason to why one week I'll be fine, and then another week I'll be having to run to the bathroom and wear my granny diapers. And I'm 4.5 months into this. So if any of you have gotten this far, any of my friends out there who actually, my buddies who actually watch these, and you have insights or experiences that you can relate, I would love to hear about it in comments. What else? I haven't been making videos much because I'm still adjusting. Like I said in my last video, I'm adjusting to a brand new level of functioning, and when I'm done with work, I'm just pretty much done. I mean, I'm still not recovered enough so that I can like get up in the morning and just plow through my day up to midnight like I used to be able to do. I'm looking forward to that. I hope it happens. I just saw a video, an interview with a woman named Mimi. She's going the rounds of the high end influencers who do interviews. I don't know if Dave has interviewed her, but Sean Baker has. So check that out. I mean, her name is Mimi. Her story is frickin' miraculous, as is her determination when she was as sick as she was to get better. I saw that and I watched the whole thing. I can't watch YouTube stuff for an hour. But I watched her whole thing and I came away from that even more determined than I was before, and I was very determined to keep going and see where this leads me. I had a whole nother thing I was going to talk about, but I think this is probably enough. I don't want to stretch your patience. And if you've made it this far, bless you for a darling angel. I love you guys. I can't overemphasize how happy it makes me when somebody leaves a comment and we have a little conversation. As I've said a number of times, like I don't have any delusions or even ambitions to become a high-end carnivore influencer or anything like that. I'm really just on here to have conversations now. Like I mentioned in my last one, just to talk about the things that come up for me as a human being on a growth path on the planet. Mostly probably around carnivore, but not entirely. I mean, in as much as doing carnivore and eating this way right now is giving me back my life, then yeah. But and there are a lot of insights that I've had. I've had this whole list of videos that I want to make about things, perspectives that I have gained about carnivore, about healing, about food issues, all kinds of things that I don't seem to be able to manage to do because I get on here and then I just ramble. But I will. I'm going to do it. Anyway, I don't know where that was going. And if you've stayed with me, you are a darling angel. Oh, I know. But my goal is to have conversations with people who want to have conversations with me. I know I'm not even remotely like the people out there who can tailor their videos to their audience and who can do high-level production things and who can lead you around their kitchen while they cook or whatever they do. Uh, that's not me. So, in as much as I become a taste for people on YouTube, it will definitely be an acquired taste. But I just want you to know I'm in line with my purpose doing this. I keep asking God. I keep saying, "Look, dude, are you sure? Like this is part of what my life path? You know, that I'm walking with you. Like, really? Because I'm not a videographer. No intentions of interviewing people, although that would be fun. I just don't know that I could. Well, yeah. I mean, the other thing is like I'm learning. I just had this realization that, and it was from watching Mimi's interview. I don't. MECFS has beat out of me that killer instinct for thriving. I don't feel that anymore. I don't believe that I'm going to recover 100% the way she is and will be able to go out hiking for hours and hours and play with my horse for as long as I want and get back to the gym. I'm a former gym rat. I miss weight training so much, and a competitive level swimmer, get back to the pool. All the things that I love to do physically. She's doing stuff like that. And I realized watching her, I don't believe it for me. And that's an issue. That's an issue. I need to like work on that. Uh, so anyway, God, I don't know. I don't know. I was winding up here, and then I got another idea. That's how the brain works. I'm neurodivergent, so my brain doesn't work in a linear fashion. It's impossible. It leaps. And I'm also a poet, and those two things are to go together, I guess. But it just leaps from topic to topic, and but eventually, I usually come back to where I was going. Um, Anyways, I love you guys. I'm here. Really, the only reason I'm still here is because God, you know, you don't. When God shows you a step on your path, I have learned this. Um, it's not wise to not take that step. So I'm taking it, and we'll see where it goes. But I just want you guys to know that those of you who view, like, subscribe, and comment, you make this old granny's heart sing. You really do. So, mwah. Have a powerful day, and I will talk to you again soon.